Hi, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Sophie, and we are here to help guide you to the why behind your wellness why.
Come join us on our journey.
Girl, what's that rock on your finger?
I got engaged.
Woo woo.
Yes, big news it happened a couple of weeks ago, but we haven't recorded since then. So that's my big news of the week, month,
Of the year.
of the year. I know.
So exciting and amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On today's podcast, we are going to talk about our top 3 kitchen and gym gadgets that we couldn't live without.
I love this topic. I feel like our past few podcasts have been a little bit more serious on the serious side. And this one is such a fun one just to talk about what we love. Not saying it's what you have to love, but just some things that we love and use and are kind of, I guess, I was going to say every day. And then I was like, I don't know if I use these every day, but I mean, for me, pretty much. So I'll say we use in our everyday lives or close to everyday lives.
Yes.
Do you want to take it away, Sophie, and start with more of the gym side of things? What are 3 gadgets or pieces of equipment, whatever you want to call it? What are 3 things in the gym that you love, couldn't live without? And then also talk a little bit about why.
Ooh, yes. Good one. So, these are the 3 things that, say, if you didn't have access to a gym, but you had like an at-home gym, you would be totally set, that I use with my clients basically every day. Dumbbells, an adjustable bench, and barbells. Probably barbells I don't necessarily use every single day, but at least every other day. So they are there in the top 3. Kind of the why is these things are easy. They don't take up a lot of space. Like a machine one, maybe you know how I feel about machines if you've been listening for a while. They're not my absolute favorite. I would take a cable machine over like a classic kind of bodybuilding machine. So yeah, dumbbells are added weight. Again, that's not like a machine. They're different. But dumbbells take up so much less space. You could have like 5, 10s, 15s, 20s in your house and have them like stacked on each other, and it would take up like 2 feet by 2 feet. You can do so many different things with them, which makes them great. Like if you had a machine, you could probably only use it a few ways, whereas dumbbells, there's like so much more variety, and you can do a lot of the same movements that like a cable machine can do as well. The resistance obviously is just a little bit different and the angles could be different, but that's where the adjustable bench comes into play, where then you can do like incline chest press, supported like row when you lay on the bench and it's inclined, a bunch of different things, lateral raises, leaning on the bench and things like that. So that is how the bench can make the dumbbells even better and more versatile. And then with the barbells, those are for your bigger lifts, like deadlift, squat, bench, which I guess if you only had a barbell, you maybe couldn't bench and squat that easily, but you could deadlift and do deadlift variations, rowing stuff, shoulder press. I mean, you still could bench. You can lay on the floor and whatever, and maybe just not on the bench if the weight's not too heavy. But anyways, those are my 3. When I have my dream garage gym someday, all of those will be in there.
I love it. I want to ask a silly question.
No silly questions.
So like you said, dumbbells, I 100% agree. I love dumbbells. Dumbbells versus kettlebells. Do you like dumbbells more? It sounds like yes, since this is on your list, but is there like a reason as to maybe why, or maybe it depends on the person, what you're working on? Just give, you don't have to talk a lot about it, but since we're on the topic of dumbbells versus kettlebells.
It depends on the person probably and preference, and if you're a kettlebell person, and I have been a kettlebell person before, but the first thing that comes to mind for me is, well, positioning. Like if you are, it can hurt people's back of like their wrist, if you're doing pressing movements. But then if you're doing pulling movements like deadlifts, single leg deadlifts, you actually have a shorter range of motion. So you maybe would have to stand on something because the bell is hanging versus a dumbbell only hangs maybe an inch or two below like your hand.
That's so true. I've never thought about it that way, but that definitely makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. How about you, Chelsea? What can't you live without in your kitchen?
Oh my goodness. So I know we were supposed to keep it to three. I'm going to say four because two of them are, they're not the same, but they're kind of in the same category. So my first one is my refrigerator containers, which I know kind of have a lot of controversy. So if you don't follow me on social media, I talk about these all the time. And if you do follow me, I'm sorry, I'm probably annoying about them. But basically they are those clearish colored containers you see all over the internet that hold things like produce, eggs, so on and so forth. And I think a lot of people, when you see them online, think they're more for the aesthetic of a kitchen and a refrigerator, but I actually like them for the purpose. And yes, they make your fridge look really pretty, but specifically with produce and herbs. So I have herb containers as well that I'll put different herbs in, or like green onions, things like that. It helps keep the herbs, produce, fruits, vegetables, whatever, fresh for so much longer. It is like wild, insane. If you clean them correctly and store them correctly, you are definitely going to be able to keep things for longer. And obviously, food waste is not a great thing. So, two big things I hear people talking about when it comes to food, specifically refrigerated food, is either it goes bad too quickly or they're wasting money because of how often they're having to buy things or throw things away and so on and so forth. So that helps with it so much. My second and third one that kind of go together, but not really, is a salad spinner and a vegetable chopper. So a salad spinner, I was actually just telling Sophie before we hopped on a call that, again, I feel like this one, a lot of people don't think about it or might just use it for what it's called, like salad or lettuce, but I actually use it for most of my produce. So even something like berries, like blueberries, after I wash them appropriately, rinse them, all that type of stuff, there's a lot of liquid left on the berry. And previously, what I would do is like lay them out on towels or paper towels and just let them dry. And sometimes I'll still do that, but a salad spinner just really helps to get that extra moisture off, which is awesome, which then in turn also helps to keep your produce lasting longer. The vegetable chopper I use definitely more in the winter when I'm making like soups, stews, things like that, that have your typical like onions, carrots, celery, but I'm a really slow chopper and cutter. I'm definitely not chef worthy in that area. And so having a vegetable chopper where you like put the vegetable in on the top and just like slap your hand down on it and it chops it for you. And then it has a little container underneath that holds them all. It is life-changing in terms of convenience.
So that's a resistance workout as well.
And there you go. It's actually funny you say that because someone was asking me about it because they had a wrist injury and they were like, is it gonna hurt my wrist by like pushing down on it? And I actually referred them to ask their physical therapist and personal trainer because I'm not like, I'm virtual, I'm not like with them. So I was like, I don't know the extent to it, but you do kind of make a good point because both of them, like both the salad spinner and the chopper, not that it's hard by any means, but you do definitely have to put like quite a bit of pressure to get it to work. So I guess that's kind of a con for someone who might, struggle with something like that, but I think it's worth it.
You could put a hand towel on top of it and lean on it with your elbow and put your body weight into it.
There you go. always an answer. I love it.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Yeah. And the chopper I have, I'll be honest, I don't use a lot of these attachments, but it came with a lot of different attachments. So you can also kind of use it as a mandolin where you can like slice things. It also came with like a spiralizer attachment that you can spiralize things. So there's lots of different options out there. I should also say, I guess we didn't say this in the beginning, but if there's a way we can link these, it might be helpful for people to see. And well, we'll have to look into that. But if possible, we'll try to link these in the description of this so you guys can see exactly what we're talking about. And then my last one is more of an appliance, but not really, which is an air fryer. Again, I know it's kind of trendy right now, but I do have to say, because so many people are like, well, I don't fry a lot of foods. You guys, I use my air fryer for everything. I use it for vegetables. I use it for fish. I use it for reheating things. So if I want to like reheat homemade pizza or something like that. It's basically a mini oven in my head, and it doesn't dirty as much stuff. So like if I'm roasting something in the oven, I'm, dirtying a pan or multiple pans, and the air fryer I just think is more compact and a lot easier to clean. And like I had mentioned, I use it for everything. Now that it's warmer out, we use our grill a lot more. But again, the air fryer was life-changing in the colder months to make things just a little bit more exciting than like some basic roasted type of things. So yeah, those are my 4 top kitchen gadgets at the moment.
I love it. I love my air fryer. Potatoes in it.
Yes. Yeah. So Chris and I have this running joke. So you guys know I love to cook. I love to be in the kitchen. I love recipes, all that type of stuff. But the 2 things that I am not good at cooking are eggs, mess them up every single time. Every single time. I know, Sophie. You guys can laugh at me. You can all laugh at me.
I'll teach you.
Okay, perfect. We are gonna have to have a lesson on that.
I'm a professional egg maker.
Thank you. I need that and don't get me wrong, like I can do it. It's just like it's one of those things that if somewhere else to make me, and this is any type of eggs, scrambled, poached, over easy, whatever you name it, like if someone else makes it, I'm like, but yours is so much better. I think I always overcook mine. I think that's the problem. But eggs and then potatoes. Potatoes are another one. Same thing. Any form, like baked potato, I swear to God, I can keep them in the oven for 5 hours and somehow they're still uncooked. I either, if I'm trying to like roast them or do them on the grill or the air fryer, I burn them like every single time. So yeah, those are that's why you probably don't, we eat potatoes a lot, but I don't ever usually put out recipes with a lot of potato stuff because I mess them up every single time. So that's an extra fun fact about me.
Guys, she's human.
I am. We even just last night, it's funny we're talking about this because last night we had potatoes and literally I'm like sitting it down on the table and Chris was like, "So, how'd you cook them tonight? And are they cooked right?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Girl,
Well,
cut them up. 425.
so I'm also really picky with my potatoes. Like I want them crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. And I can't, I don't know if it's like my oil ratio or what it is, but
I don't
I'm
put that much
working on it.
oil.
I don't either. That's what I was wondering. I was wondering if I wasn't putting enough, but I think I think it's just a me thing. I'm the problem.
No, we'll work on it.
But I have made potato gnocchi or however you say that word. So that I can do. And mashed potatoes. I can do mashed potatoes.
That's good. I've actually never made mashed potatoes.
What?
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in future Thanksgivings when I have to make mashed potatoes.
I do have to say my mom makes the best mashed potatoes. And that was like one of my favorite foods growing up. And my brother and I would always not like get in a fight, but like get in a little bit of a tizzy because he really liked like thinner mashed potatoes and I like the thick and fluffy and and so anytime my mom would make mashed potatoes, he would be like, I want them this way. And I'd be like, no, I want them this way. And it would be this ongoing thing. So another fun fact. I don't know how this conversation got to be about potatoes, but there's that.
I love potatoes. It's okay.
Me too. It's also one of my favorite foods. And there's just so much variety you can do with them. They're cheap. They're they're cheap. There's so many things you can do with them. It's fun. Also, you guys are getting so many fun facts and tips today. It's Potatoes are so nutrient dense. So anyone out there who's going to come at me saying that they're too high in carb or white potatoes are bad for you. No, guys, they can be included in a healthy, well-balanced diet. Even if you're trying to, eat a lower carb diet or lower your blood sugar or whatever, potatoes can still be included. I promise. I promise.
Thank
But
God.
eat the skin. Eat the skin when possible. I will put that disclaimer in there because that's where a lot of the fiber and nutrients are. So I know that's not like always like if you're making potato gnocchi, you're not going to use the skin, but if possible, eat the skin. That's where a lot of the nutrients are.
Good to know. But like one of my clients we used to joke about if we could be a food, we would be, or no, it wasn't if we could be a food. It was if we could only eat one food the rest of our lives to survive, it would be potatoes because you can eat them like 10 different ways. Hash browns, French fries, baked, chips, mashed, like
Yeah.
literally.
That's the other reason Chris thinks that maybe I'm not great at making them because I try to make them different every time. And he's like, try the same method. And he's like, but every time, like you cut them in a different shape or like you buy a different variety. And I'm like, but that's because I like variety. But that's probably also why I haven't mastered one type of potato because I switch it up. Like even this week, I made potatoes 2 days and it was the same type of potato, but like one day I cut them in chunks and one day I cut them in like little rounds. And so that obviously changes the cooking and whatnot. But maybe we
Girl.
should call this podcast Potato Lovers.
Yes. What a great password. Potato lover 123.
Exclamation mark, because they always need that special character or whatever they call it. I feel like there's not really a food for thought because I guess the food for thought would be, do you guys have any favorites in your kitchen or gym? And if so, let us know because we always want to try something new. We always like to share new things. So, yeah,
Let us know.
yeah. I want to add one other thing in real quick. If anyone out there, okay, Sophie, have you seen this Ninja Creamy all over the internet?
No.
Okay, so there's Ninja Creamy, which basically, like Ninja, the brand Ninja that has like blenders and stuff. So Ninja Creamy is an ice cream maker, but they can make like I don't know, it kind of to me it kind of looks like a coffee machine. Like you put the little thing in like a coffee pod and then there's buttons on the top, but there's all different types of buttons and I don't know exactly what all I probably sound like a millennial trying to describe this right now, but it's like all over the internet and people rave about it and I'm telling myself I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it, but you can
Girl.
make like you see people, so it's not only ice cream, like some people are like throwing frozen mango and making like mango sorbet and like all different stuff, but it makes it super creamy and delicious. And now you need to go look up videos on YouTube or TikTok of it because you're going to want it too.
And you can put it on your wedding registry.
There you go. Check. But if anyone out there has tried it and is listening, let us know if it's worth it because I feel like I need it, but I know I don't. I think that's all for today.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good one.
Bye.